Hey, welcome to the Honey and Harry Show. I'm Honey.
And I'm Harry.
And today we have a really special guest. I was so excited to get him. I have an interesting story. Father Tat, welcome. I was looking for furniture, and I was handing out my little cards. And you're going to have to remind me of the lady's name because you've told me several times.
Sandra Brown.
Sandra Brown. And we were just talking, and we were talking how important it is to get the good stuff out there. And she was like, I have the perfect guest for you, Father Tat. And I was like, Father Tat, I've never heard of him. He's at St. Jared. He's amazing. He loves this. He'll do great at this. Like, you know, you're young. You're good at all this. You got a good personality. I've been talking to him for a few minutes before the show. And so I took a leap of faith and reached out to him, and he said yes. So he's here tonight. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Really do appreciate this, taking time out of your busy schedule.
Yes, thank you, Honey, and thank you, Harry.
And Harry. Harry's
here too.
Harry's doing all the hard work trying to get everything going for us tonight. We've had some technical difficulties. So, okay, Father Tat. So we're going to kind of talk about like your purpose. You have such a purpose. You've had such just a little bit that I've read, and I've watched a few little videos on you. You've had such an interesting journey, and it started like in Vietnam. It started when you were young. It started, you just had like we said, awakenings and things. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your story?
All right. So, hello, everybody. It's great to be here. What an honor, because I'm a Vietnamese immigrant, political refugee, all the way from Vietnam, which is one of the poorest countries in the world back then. Now, maybe a little bit better. So I was born in Vietnam in 1972. We call Bloody Summer, May 29, 72. Why I mention that? Because I was born in that day, and my dad was not around because my dad was in the battlefield.
Oh, wow.
And everybody believed that my dad passed already or killed in the battlefield.
Gosh.
He would not be able to come back to see me. Only everybody knew but my mom, right?
Really?
So he came back and he saw me, picked up the red, fleshy baby, and he named me Tat Hoang, means victory.
Oh.
Now, he hoped that my existence and my presence will bring victory to the country.
I love this.
So that's the purpose now. That's the first purpose.
That is a first purpose.
Yes. And my dad put a lot of hope in me now. Wow. So I grew up with that Hoang Chung. Tat Hoang is a big full name. It's a arrogant name, if you will. Hoang Chung is my mom and my dad's last name put together. And Tat Hoang means victory, win all the time.
Oh, wow.
And that is my dad's purpose and hope in me.
That's amazing.
So with that, I grew up in a family of 5 boys and 1 girl.
Okay.
I'm a second oldest. But I remember when I was about 12 years old, after like about this time, 7, 8 o'clock after catechism, my friend, my cousin, and myself, 3 of us stood in a corner of the street. I still remember that spot. 1, 2, 3, priest.
Really?
Yes. So we promised to ourselves that one day we want to become a priest.
Really? That young?
But we never told anybody that we want to become a priest. So 20 years later, I became a priest.
That is crazy.
But in Vietnam, it was so competitive because so many young people want to become a priest. So here I am, very quiet guy. I didn't talk a lot back then, and we so poor. To become a priest was a luxury thing.
Really?
Oh yeah. If you can become a priest,
here.
yes.
Yes.
If you can become a priest, you are in a different class.
Really?
Oh yeah, they treat priests in my country like kings.
Really?
So everybody want to become a priest, but it's hard. You have to go through a lot of tests, and you have to be, handsome, smart, intelligent, good-looking guy, you name it, the top.
The top.
And I never thought or believed that I could become a priest. But at that time, I also want to become a saint. And I believe that becoming a saint may be easier than to become a priest. Why? Because becoming a priest, you have to go through all kinds of tests and school and this and that. Becoming a saint for me back then, I read story of Saint Therese Lisieux, or Saint Martin de Porres. They became priests, saints when they were pretty young.
Yes.
So I want to become a saint. If they could become a saint, I can become a saint too,
That's right. That's
so
true.
that's my purpose when I was little, when I was teenager.
Okay. You wanted to just be a saint at that point.
Yeah, because, becoming a saint is a holy thing. I grew up in my country where a lot of Catholics around. It's a whole Catholic village. I can count around my village like 12 different parishes.
Really?
Yeah, they
See, and
right
I
next
didn't
to each
know,
other.
I had no idea.
Yes.
In Vietnam.
In Vietnam, I thought, because I grew up in a very Catholic village, I thought the whole country was Catholic until I came here.
Really?
I found out that only 7% Catholic in Vietnam.
Really?
7%.
Really?
Christian altogether, maybe 10%, but Catholic, 7%.
But in your village, there were so many
100%.
priests. Oh, wow.
Because we moved and migrated from north to south.
Okay.
And we lived together in that village. And that's very populated. Now it's in Saigon, in the south side of Vietnam. Yep.
But it's kind of like in the South, like over here in Baton Rouge.
It's
and
pretty
New Orleans.
Catholic. Yep.
It's very Catholic. So when I was growing up, I kind of just thought everybody was Catholic.
Yes.
Thought it was weird when I had a neighbor that wasn't Catholic. And, so it's just wherever you grow up and what you're around, what you're used to. Well, that's a blessing for everybody that you became a priest, though. But tell me some more about your journey. I heard you were a mechanic, though, so y'all moved here. Tell me how you moved here, though. I know y'all moved here when you were maybe, what, 10?
21.
Oh, 21. Okay, I'm
21
sorry.
years old, yes.
21.
So I came here in 1993 when I was 21. My oldest brother, 25, and then the rest younger than me.
Oh, wow.
But 21 years old, too old for high school. And I didn't know how to speak English back then. And so
wow.
I didn't think I could study anything. So I went to Delgado Community College in New Orleans.
Okay.
And I studied ESL, which is English second language. And then I picked up mechanic because in Vietnam I fixed bicycles for a living. And I said, hey, it's the same tools, it's the same stuff, so maybe I just go and study mechanic and fix cars.
That's how you make your money, making cars. You're fixing cars,
so
yeah.
I love fixing cars. I fix cars for my families, for my friends, and I did that for 4 years. And then one day I was fixing the cars, and there's a voice came to me and said, Ted, do you believe that a car fixer can fix souls?
Isn't that crazy?
And I always wanted to become a priest, but I never told anybody about priesthood. Uh-huh. But that voice came to me and kind of reminded me my vocation when I was a little bit younger, And so I said, yes, a car fixer can fix soul. And as you know, that as a priest, you become a confessor and you hear so many stories. And now I'm interested in spiritual awakening. You can help so many people to fix their soul, to strengthen their spirit and all that.
What a gift, huh?
Yes. Yeah. And then one more opportunity. I heard and say, Ted, don't drink that half glass of water. Save that half glass of water for me and for those who have no water to drink. And I'm telling you, my life is just like a half glass of water. I didn't have girlfriends. I didn't have friends. I was so quiet. I didn't know how to speak in public. So
really,
I just barely enough to survive.
Oh, wow.
And from that, I said, yes, I can give this half glass of water to you. And so I think, today I'm just an empty glass, and God just put whatever in there to serve my people, especially here in Baton Rouge.
So when did you actually become a priest?
2006, which is when I was 34 years old. 30. And I was ordained right in New Orleans here, where the Blessed Silos Shrine is in New Orleans.
Okay, and you have been sent all over.
All over.
That is so crazy. I mean, like everywhere.
I was in Houston for 2 years, associate pastor there, and then I moved to New York. I became a vocation director from my province, where Redemptus, Denver province, and then I moved to Denver for 3 years, so 7 years as vocation director, and then I went back to Chicago, and I worked in the South Side Chicago, West Side Chicago with poor, homeless.
Really?
And young high school students. And then after that, I asked my leadership to send me to Mexico to study Spanish.
Oh, wow.
So I lived in Mexico for over a year.
And you know Spanish, too?
I know some Spanish.
Oh,
I could say Mass in Spanish.
Oh, my goodness.
And then I came here in 2019.
And Redemptrist.
Redemptrist.
And so I feel like, I mean, it's a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Have all the parishes you've been to have been?
Oh yeah, So as you know, Redemptress, we are called to preach the good news to the poor and the most abandoned. So wherever the poor and the most abandoned, we are. Yeah. We are there.
Yeah, and that again, we get back to your purpose. I think that's why God was calling you to help all these people.
Yes.
In these horrible situations, you know. So tell us more about St. Gerard now that you're here.
Yes. So when I came here, I have to say I didn't know a lot about St. Gerard. I thought I was. I asked to come here to serve international community, which is Spanish speaking, English speaking, and Vietnamese speaking, right?
Wow. Okay.
But when I met Bishop Duca said, no, I just want you to serve the community as St. Gerard, which is the majority is African American. So I went back home from his office. All my books in Spanish just closed and just left behind. So we got it 2019, and just about 6 months later is COVID. The COVID hit.
Oh, God, remember that?
And because of that COVID, I think our church and school survived today. Why?
Really?
Because everybody thought that our church and school closed because Redemptus High School closed. So they thought that everything closed. But we have live stream, Station of the Cross, live stream Mass, live stream this and that. And everybody in Baton Rouge realized that, hey, St. Gerard is still working. It's still there.
Because I heard the same thing.
Yeah, but
I'm
it's
going to
not
be honest
true.
with you that Redemptress was gone. I heard that. Like it wasn't, I mean, I know that now it's not true, but like I heard that for a while. It was like that the school wasn't there. And then I know my dad went and tutored some.
Yeah.
Last year, but and I have a friend that helped over there. And so it's like the more that and that's kind of like why we're doing this show, the more we talk about things like we're going to, share your purpose. But I almost feel like our purpose is to let your purpose be known.
Of course.
And everybody else's purpose be known, because the only way you can know about things is to hear about them, and sometimes you're so far away from it, you don't see it, but that doesn't mean you need to ignore it.
Yes. Actually today,
you need
because
to do something about it.
Because of the COVID, I knew how to use my Facebook. I knew how to use my YouTube. I knew how to live stream, and I know how to share. And a lot of people, they don't go to website anymore, but they go to Facebook. They go to social media.
Yes,
and
they
they know everything I'm doing here at St. Gerard and Redemptus, because I share all my stories up there,
Oh,
and so
absolutely.
right now we have a elementary school called Redemptus St. Gerard from pre-K 4 years old to 8th graders, which is 14 years old.
Okay.
And about 251 students, and the majority African American.
Okay.
And Hispanic. And then we have the majority is not Catholic.
Really?
We receive vouchers, like a state government voucher scholarship, and then we have scholarship on top of that too. So, yes, it's different, but I feel like this is exactly what I don't want to say what I'm looking for, but I think exactly what God wants us to do.
That's what God is calling you for
Because
sure.
I feel like this is God's mission. It's not just my mission or your mission. It's God's mission. It's an eternal mission. Because kids today need education, and not just education, but good education.
And they need their souls fixed.
And my goal for them that I want to see if Redemption St. Gerard Elementary School becomes the top Catholic mission school in that area for minority, for poor family, based on good education and then faith formation, leadership, discipline, and wellness. This is the 5 areas that I wanna to nurture.
The whole
thing.
And like you said, just to fix their little souls too, because you don't know. That's so important.
Oh, my kids is so beautiful. I'm telling you.
Because you just don't know what's going on in the outside world, and then they come in here.
One morning, I was out there. The parents dropped them, at a parking lot there. They walk straight to me. They ignore everybody else around me. And what they needed is just come and have a hug, a gentle hug.
They just need it.
And you can squeeze their brain, their head, and I can tell and feel like this is it. You melt their whole consciousness, and that's it. That's all they needed. A beautiful hug, a beautiful greeting, a beautiful encouragement, and the little kids. Oh boy!
Just to be accepted and to know that. Some of those kids just need, all kids need that, though. They just need to know love. And that's so important. That's what, you are providing that. I say that all the time. I think that's one of the most important things is to teach kindness. I read a book to my grandson the other day, and the first thing, it was like the little mole. It's about a horse and a mole and something else. And they asked the little boy, when you get older, what do you want to be? And he said, kind. Mm-hmm. That's the most important. You got to be kind.
Oh, yeah.
That's the most important thing in life.
One of the things that I told my students and my staff that if we can teach them that God loves them.
Yes.
And God is with them always, I'm a winner.
You are a winner. Because if you don't have your faith, you have nothing.
Because, a lot of kids today, they walk outside and they're afraid that they walk by themselves.
Oh, sure.
They're afraid that somebody will attack them and everything else and abuse and whatever. But if they believe that God is with them and God loves them.
Oh my gosh. And
that will be, I don't want to say all, but peace within them and confidence and joy. It's just.
And you're giving them that, and that's something like that my parents taught me. If I got scared at night, I would start saying my Hail Marys. Or before I took a test, if I was nervous, I'd pray. And it was like I always had God in the center of my life. And He, it helped me when I didn't have anything else. And you're giving them that. And I think that's worth everything. That really is. But I also want to ask you, too, because you said your glass was empty.
Yes.
And I know we talked about that earlier. What did some of the kids say when your glass is empty? Tell us that little story, because that's so cute.
It sounds like a movie, but in reality, I didn't remember the story until I became a vocation director.
Oh wow.
Okay, so this story happened when I was 25 some years old, before I entered seminary, of course.
Okay.
But then 11 years later, when I became a priest already, and I became a vocation director, so. One kid, 5th grader, said, "Father, why did you want to become a priest? How did you make that decision?" And I never thought about my vocation until that question came up, and then I remember that story about the half glass of water.
Yeah.
And I told God, I said, "God, are you sure you want my half glass of water? It's dirty, germs everywhere." And the voice came back and said, "Tat, it doesn't matter how much you have in the class and how dirty it is. The question here is, are you willing to share with me? And the rest, I'll take care of it." And so I shared that with him, and he said, "So what happened to your half glass of water? It's still half glass?
I love kids.
Or it's full now or it's empty? And the more I thought about it, I said, I think it's an empty glass. But I keep that glass. I bring that glass with me. It's like my life. My life is just like a vessel. It's just like an empty glass. So everywhere I go, I bring that glass with me.
Oh, wow.
So that God could pour the water, the milk, the tea, orange juice accordingly. If you ask for a cup of tea, I will use my empty cup and I will go to God to ask for that tea for you.
I love that.
So God becomes my content. God becomes my substance. I am just an object maybe of his substance, of his content to serve people. So when I came here, same thing. That's the life of missionary, I believe. We don't have talents. We don't have all the gifts. We don't know anybody. But when we came here, vulnerably, open up, like Father Bob here from Philippines or Father Paul Yi or any priest here, we came and people helped to make it happen.
Absolutely.
So same thing with me. I believe to this day, I didn't do anything. God took care of all that. I'm just be available and approachable wherever people call and ask for. And God will just give me enough wisdom. And I believe when you become especially a pastor, God gives you extra smartness so that you make good decisions.
Oh, yeah.
So that you don't sell his church in 2 years.
Yeah, you're right about that. No, you're right about that. But this is your purpose. It so is your purpose. And listening to, just hearing you speak, and it's been challenging. I'm sure it's been so challenging, and you just constantly doing the work of the Lord, of God, and it shows. I mean, absolutely. And it's hard sometimes being at parishes that need so much, it can be, but it's so rewarding.
I want to share this story because
I feel like that's so rewarding.
You see, the thing is, people thought it is a lot of work, but it's not work.
It's not.
It's not work. This is interesting
I'm glad
thing.
I said no. I feel embarrassed.
You know why? Because I just came back from Holy Land just last summer, and I renewed my second term again. I felt like, boy, I don't know why. I have second term, which is 4 more years to do. I said, this is a lot of work, People are tired of me. They don't want to. They don't want to say yes to me anymore. But after that trip from Holy Land, I came back home. I received a message, and the message was, "I need mercy, Ted. I need mercy. Preach mercy, talk mercy, think mercy, do everything with mercy." Now I said, "Mamma mia! It's not about money. It's not about work." He said, "Go out there, share God's mercy, your mercy. Encourage people to be merciful." I said, this is it. This will be fun. My next 4 years will be fun. Will be a lot of fun.
Oh.
So it's not work. It's about the mercy. You remember the called work of mercy?
Yes, yes.
Corporal work of mercy and spiritual work of mercy.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh. Yes, yes. But it's your purpose.
Exactly.
It's your purpose. Like that's the whole reason.
God gives me new purpose.
New purpose all the time. And I love what you do I love children. And I know, growing up when I was even little, those special people in your life, you never forget them. And you're one of those people. And you're working through God. You're just working through him to deliver the message. So I love that. So Dad, do you have any questions for Father Tat right now?
Are any of the, how active are the various parishes in the diocese in helping you out, Father, over there at your mission?
We spread out the news. So Our Lady of Mercy sent some volunteers, so which is
wow.
pretty good.
Okay.
St. George.
St. George.
St. George actively, financially giving us some money to help with St. Vincent de Paul, because we have a lot of activities going on. So not just the school, we have St. Vincent de Paul helping poor families in the area. And so St. George, every month they give us a check. Just just a little bit to help us to go and help the poor families, and they're very faithful to this. I don't know, they've been doing this for 2-3 years now at least.
Love that.
Yes,
I absolutely love that.
And then we have a lot of volunteers from St. George as well.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of wanted to talk about too. Some of that, y'all need volunteers.
Yes.
And like I asked you earlier, yard work. Tutors, right?
Yes.
Just anything and everything, right?
Anything and everything.
And you were saying that the food. You said the food. Y'all need food right now, right?
Food. Right now, if you are law enforcement, like retired, and you have nothing to do at home, and you feel like you have a little bit of energy, an hour, you can go out there and just walking around outside because we have Feeding the Hungry every Tuesday and Thursday.
Oh, really? Tuesday
and Thursday. You're talking about every day like that, we give out about 400 boxes of food.
Do you really?
And so they're not homeless. They are poor family, and they come and receive it. But we need some security outside to ensure the people that there's somebody outside and take care of that. So if you have some kind of experience about, if you manly, if you holy, like me, I feel like if I put like this, walking around the building, people won't create any problems, They respect you.
Yes.
And so I want to create that community, 70805 around St. Jared. It's a place for joy, for community, for peace. If you are around that, you can see it. At night, even 9 a.m. I have a Bible study group. 7:30. They don't want to go home. They're standing outside a parking lot talking to 8:30. Lights everywhere, green grass. The bell rings every hour. So it's just beautiful. I know violence today is everywhere now. But I believe that we need to change that attitude and I mean
interrupt you, but I heard you say green grass, and it just made me think of the blessings that you said that we have. Like, you don't have to look far.
Yes, a monk said this. Miracle is not that you can.
Miracle, that's what it was.
Yeah, miracle is not that you can walk on water, but miracle that that you are walking on green grass. And every time I walk on my green grass, I know I'm walking on miracle.
A miracle.
Or I'm performing miracles. And so miracles is everywhere.
It is everywhere.
Like you said, breathing. You know that you are breathing. You know that you're in front of a camera right now. What a beautiful story to share with the world. It's a miracle.
It is. And and I'm going to share a little bit of my story. It's a miracle that I was adopted. Right? That's a miracle. Because what I could have, you don't know what my life could have been. And that's why I've always been so passionate, I guess, to be good to all people. No matter what your background is, no matter what. Because you don't get to choose who you're born to.
That's right.
And some people, when they're born, they win the lottery. And some people, it's just harder for them. But we should respect everyone and treat everyone the same and with kindness. And, I don't know what my story might have been.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or my brother too. We were so blessed to get wonderful parents and family that loved us, and were so they were so happy to see us.
Yeah.
When we would go for Christmas, and not everybody gets everybody's sitting in a circle watching you open up a present. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody gets that experience growing up. So we have to be sensitive and kind, and that's why I love that, like you said, when the child walks up and sees you and wants to just hug you and just, that tight hug, they need that.
Yeah.
Everyone needs that.
Oh, yeah.
I may not have needed it from just a random, I had it at home.
Yes.
But not everybody has it at home. So,
Yes.
I love that. So the needs are canned foods, any type police officers, any retired police officer. I'm going to start recruiting my friends, let me tell you. And even like you were saying, in the church, you were needing some speaker.
Yes, because this is a funny story because St. Gerard used to be the biggest church in the States.
It was.
If not in United States. Used to have 8 masses on a weekend. No. All stands up, And now I think people moving away and now it's kind of like empty and not many people kind of pay attention. So I remember one Christmas celebration mass. After mass, I asked my uncle. A lot of people in the church.
Yeah.
So I asked my uncle because he's playing a band, so he knows what going on about sound thing. So after mass, I said, "Uncle, how was it?" He said, "It was okay." So I asked him, "Could you hear me?" He said, "No." Oh. I said, "What are you talking about? You can't hear me?" And I found out only 2 speakers in the front in the sanctuary area. And of course, if you stand in the middle of the church, you have no idea what I'm talking about. So I hurried, went to Guitar Center and get 5 more speakers so that everybody in the church could hear. But it still is not the right speaker for the church. It's like it's for music. And so I have a volunteer to help me to put together the speaker and the sound. It's much cheaper than, if you hire a professional.
Absolutely.
It's he said it about less than $15,000 to put this. So you need 20 speakers around the church. And of course the amplifier and the sound processor and all that thing. But I think it's reasonable. But I wanna preach so that people can hear, especially the elderly.
Yes.
They couldn't hear well,
Yeah.
So
No, the elderly cannot hear well, I can tell you.
And look, my kids, even at my age, I'm only one, like we're a year apart, my kids say I'm deaf, but I think I'm not deaf. I think it's just I'm so used to hearing them fuss at me sometimes.
Yeah.
But you do, and it's like anybody out there that has, experience with that can definitely, they need help.
Yeah, redemptress, we preach the good news, but people can't hear, forget it.
Yeah, you need to be able to hear. I mean, and that's true. That's terrible that when you go to church and you can't hear.
You can hear, but it's muffling, they call it.
But that's so aggravating. You know what I mean? When you can't hear and I
feel bad for some people. They there because they love the church, they love the priest, but they couldn't hear well. I say, man. Jeez.
Yeah, and I think my son and his wife is from Central, and I do think they go to Christmas Eve Mass with her parents at St. Gerard, I want to say. I think they do.
A lot of people go there.
I think they do for Christmas Eve.
Yes.
I think that's where they go. They're going to let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's where they go because I think her parents went there Redemptress. Or her father did. One of them did. But anyways, I do know they go there sometimes. So that's they like it, So what about anything else, Dad?
I think the fact that there are so many opportunities to help at St. Gerard is a rich opportunity for the rest of the diocese to help out. And you don't have to have just one skill. Any skill you can apply will help. I know I don't know how to teach little kids or things like that.
You taught there.
Yeah, my strength.
He was a tutor.
Yeah,
so
my strength is like 20-year-olds. I can teach them, but so I volunteered, and it's a low key being there for the children and giving them an opportunity to study a little bit more for the LEAP tests so they can do a little better and have some self-esteem that comes with that. And I can tell from the kids that were there that they enjoy the fact that people are paying attention to them and giving them some of their time. Yeah, they're still kids and they're trying to get off some of their energy from that whole day in school, but they're very appreciative, and they'll remember this. As Father, you pointed out, someone came back to the parish after many years. People do remember their roots and what happened when they were children.
No, absolutely. And I'm not a teacher, but I'm a sub, and I'm Miss Honey gives the best hugs.
There you go. Oh boy, I'm telling you.
And I'm a good excuse maker if you're getting in trouble.
I want to tell you this story because a lot of times we expect a lot, and for example, they said if you wanna have a fruit from a tree, you have to plant a tree and wait for 10 years to get the fruit, right?
Yes.
My kids, my students, the moment you give them something, your smile, your respect, your care, your hug, your education, your time, you feel the difference right there.
There you go.
One time, this little boy kind of in trouble, waiting for principal to talk to him. And they said, "Are you okay?" And I put my hands on his shoulder.
Oh.
And I say, "Hey, how old are you now?" "I'm 6 years old." "Do you think when you're 7 years old, you will be better than 6 years old?" "Yes, Father." "How about when you 8 years old, you think you will be better than 7 years old?" "Yes, Father." You can feel the difference, They expected that you scream at them and yell at them and, dare not do it again.
Yes.
But here, with gentle and respect, you can see confidence coming back. And they say, "Yes, I can do it. I can do better next year."
Yeah.
"I'm sorry." I say, you won't do it again, yeah?" "No, I won't do it again."
Yeah, because nobody likes to be.
You can see their smile, their confidence, their dignity.
Respect them.
Respected.
That is the respect.
And that is the awesome of education, especially little kids like we have today.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter who they are and where they came from. That is the children of God.
It is.
And God wants us to take care of them and respect them. Can you imagine that we need to respect children? That is weird to say. Children have to respect adults, right? But today, adults need to respect children. We abuse them so much, verbally, psychologically, and more.
I can't imagine. No, I know.
And so many kids today grown up without mom or dad, divorced family. Can you imagine how much the divorce or separation impact our kids today? And they suck all that in, and they bear all that by themselves.
By themselves. They don't even know how to internalize any
Yep.
of that. And, I always say children have such a way of blaming themselves for everything.
And they don't tell anybody.
They just stuff it.
Until one day they trust you enough to tell you. But nobody even have enough time to ask questions.
And that leads to them sometimes getting in trouble and going the wrong
Depressed.
way
Yep.
and not making good choices. Sometimes just that one person that shows them love
And change their life forever.
can change their life forever. And that is your purpose. That's why this is your purpose. I feel like if you change one person's life when you're on this earth, you've done a great job. If you can change, you're changing so many.
Yes.
So you're going to be a saint. So you said you wanted to be a saint.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be a saint. What you're doing is saintly.
I enjoy it. I
know
enjoy doing what I do.
I know. Well, you wouldn't do it if you don't enjoy
Yeah.
it. But it is but like you've given your entire life for this. You're not married. You don't have the children. You gave your whole life to be father, probably sometimes mother to all these children.
Yes.
Yes, what a gift. But what a gift that is, and it's an amazing gift that you do have. So, well, Dad, anything else with you?
I enjoyed Father sharing all of this, and I enjoyed my time. Something got in my way that messed me up from going back to St. Jared in the fall. My wife got ill, and so
My
forth.
mom had a brain
But
tumor.
yeah, check in the mail. There's a check from our Margaret and I to the parish, to the education wing in the parish, to help a little bit. So we want to be able to be part of the blessed story that y'all are working over there.
I appreciate, Harry, that even welcoming to this show to announce a little bit of good news and a little bit of mercy and God's love to all of us, because I believe today the world needs to hear not just positive story, but real story. I feel like
yes.
Right.
I feel like we have so many stories to tell. And of course, you listen to us, you have your own stories too. And this kind of a little show and studio can produce some, one of my dreams is just go out there in the street and ask them that same question. What is your faith? What is your journey? What is your life?
What is your purpose?
So many untold stories out there.
100%.
And they are saints too, but nobody had enough energy and care for them. So I don't want to say on the behalf of my schools and my students, I want to tell this story to all the world.
You should. And look, Father Tat, if you ever want to come back, you text us, and please come and be a voice.
Right.
Get
Any
some
special programs you want to announce or anything like that?
Anything. Please
or
come back.
needs that you have that are above the ones you currently know?
Yes.
I want to see if next time we're talking about the spiritual intelligence.
Spiritual intelligence.
Because
yes.
I'm working on this quite a bit, and talking about contemplation, talking about meditation, talking about mindfulness, talking about the inner world, the world that maybe a lot of people don't have time to see through it, which is Jesus Christ's world. I mean, this is all about Jesus.
100%.
And a lot of us, we don't have formation, training, and time and discipline to learn from Jesus. We go to church, we go to mass once a week, hear the homily, and it's a beautiful thing, but we need to be trained to interpret all this. So praying rosary 50 times a day is not good enough. You need to be in that mode of quietness, silence, and discipline. Somebody had to help you to see it. And the whole world is spiritual. Like I said, walking on green grass is miracle. It's hard to come up to that level. Only spiritual person could come up with that.
No, yeah.
It's not just religious person could come up with that. A spiritual person sees all the connectedness in the world, and the world becomes so intimate. And it's so, as you know, that Thomas Aquinas said, God wrote 2 Bibles. One is the creation and one is the book. So creation is the Bible. It's the living Bible as well. But we hardly understand that Bible. And each one of us is the living Bible that God written in our life. But you need the spiritual intelligence to understand it.
No, that is a great topic. And I could learn a lot from that too. I mean, I think I'm sitting here listening to you, and I've already learned a few things just being with you. And also, the only thing else I wanted to mention, did you say you wrote a book? Or you're writing
a little booklet when I was a vocation director called Hearing God's Voice.
Okay.
Hearing God's Call. 30 days of vocation discernment. And so I was a vocation director, and I tried to find a book for my young prospects, to learn how to discern vocation. And so I couldn't find that book, so I went home and I wrote a book.
And that's ingenious.
so based on 30 days, and it's a basic, it's a discernment, but it's exactly what is talking about spiritual world. Started from you are created in the image and likeness of God. You have to start right. so that your life turns into a right direction and right way.
Absolutely.
But if you don't have that right, if you think that you are dumb, stupid, ugly, trash, junk, then everything you do is ugly, trash, bad, nothing good.
Thank you for
And
saying
our
that.
and
I
our
need to hear
God
that.
is a loving God, is an
right.
awesome God, is a good God.
It is a good
You
God.
All
know,
the time.
All the time he's good.
So we need to believe, not just believe in it. We need to live accordingly with that. And if we truly believe in it, we have a different life.
100%. No.
So you think there might be another book, Father, in the offing with this spiritual intelligence?
You know, I'm outlining my stuff, but just talking about this, I have a spiritual awakening in my office there. So if anybody needs some spiritual conversation, a spiritual space and place, I feel like a lot of people, they go to a doctor, like a medical doctor, check up every year at least, if not every month and every 6 months. But when they have a struggle with their spirit, with their soul, with their spiritual being, they don't know where to go. They just go to confession and their sins and
You're
their best.
right.
They don't know how to
You're right.
find where's the office for spiritual
100%. Where is
illness.
that office?
You know, so
that's so. I mean,
so I want to just offer that, and I know that when I advertise this, it's very dangerous because a lot of people need this, but I'm willing to help in any way to put them together. And my program, it calls 8 Steps of Spiritual Awakening. 8 steps. So you have to go from childhood to adulthood.
Wow.
And a lot of times, though, honey, you think that you are weird. You are not weird. Whatever you act now, whatever you do now, whatever you behave now, somehow it connects with your childhood behavior and life. And if you don't know how you raised and how you grew up back then and what happened in between that, you have no idea why and how you do what you do now. And so in order to solve the problem now, you have to go all the way back to correct that or to understand that and reconcile with and even accept. I call little honey in you that maybe you don't know how to communicate with or you don't know how to embrace it. Little honey in you said, I want to be in the world. I said, no, it's dangerous out there. Stay in there. No, I want to be out there. I can do it. He said, no. It's like your conscience, your consciousness. It's your experiences inside. It's your little soul in there.
Little soul.
But you need to learn how to embrace it. You need to know how to connect with it. You know how to welcome it. And sometimes you have a lot of trapped emotions, a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of, I don't want to say resentments and everything else during that time. And you carry that with you today.
Wow.
So you need a little bit of time to do that.
You're a genius. He's so good, isn't he? We're going to have you back because we're going to just do a whole show on that.
Yep.
Yes.
Because that is like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm going to have like my whole friend groups watch.
I can do it on you, so
You can do it on me. I'll be the guinea pig.
yeah. So you will be a talker. I'm just a questioner.
I'll be talking. And look, I'm an open book. That's the only.
But a lot of people, because of shame, because of guilt, because of secret, they don't want anybody knows. But
No, 100%.
but this is very important if you want to be healthy. You see, the thing is,
You want to be
I know
completely
that the
healed.
show maybe is long already, but you see, we have IQ, we have EQ. IQ is for intelligence, your intellectual intelligence. EQ for emotional intelligence. SQ is spiritual intelligence. And I feel like we only focus on IQ. You know, when you send kids to school, you want to focus on IQ. EQ, when we in a relationship, you know, and even in relationship, you have no idea why that person feels that way or reacts that way. That EQ. SQ is the highest, I feel, of all the Qs out there. And you don't seek for SQ, which is spiritual intelligence, until you retired, until you adult, which is very sad. You should know all the spiritual aspects and elements of your life when you're still young. But unfortunately today, as you know, that all denomination and all religions, a lot of people quit going to church. They don't believe in all this thing. And so they become gods themselves. And because of that, we have so many defects in our life, and we don't know what we're doing sometimes. So just a little bit of that.
Well, we're gonna have to cut this now. We're gonna have to go. I actually had a concussion this week, and the bright lights are starting
to get you, right?
Starting to get to my head.
Yes.
So I hit my head. Guess what I did? I was on the playground with my grandkids, and I tried to stand up in between my grandchild that was on there, and my daughter was on the other side. And I stood up, and there was a metal thing. I have a goose egg on my head.
Ooh.
So this is starting to make me go crazy with the
too
eyes.
Too much.
So I am sorry I'm having to cut it short, guys. But
we thank
we're going
you,
to get you
Father.
to come back.
We're going to have you back. Absolutely.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And thank you for being here tonight.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
indeed.
Thank
So,
you.
honey, who do we have next week?
We have Marvin Smith with Baton Rouge Soccer.
Baton Rouge Soccer, and that'll be real interesting too with the sports angle. And we've had some soccer players in our family
Yes,
too, right?
my daughter. My daughter played college soccer.
Absolutely.
So one of my daughters.
We'll see y'all all next week. Hopefully, 7 o'clock on Wednesday evening. Take care. God bless.
All right.